Hey, hi, how you doing? This is the Gamertron and welcome to the Gamertron Show. Today I want to talk to you guys a little bit about a little thing called nostalgia and how it affects video games for the best and the worst reasons. Let's start off with the best. The most obvious, the memories. Nostalgia is based on memories, usually good memories. Memories of playing the first games we ever played, memories of playing those old 8-bit, 16-bit games when video games were first coming around, the memories and wonder of a child, not entirely understanding what a video game is, how it works, how it's made, but just enjoying the somewhat magic of controlling this little pixelated character. Although I didn't grow up in the time and I don't have that kind of nostalgia for games that a lot of other people do, I understand them. I understand the kind of nostalgia those people have for certain types of video games. I get it, I really do. While games like Mario, Sonic, Metroid, Mega Man, so many other of the old 8-bit classics may be nostalgic gold mines and treasured memories and games to some people who grew up at that time, my nostalgia comes from games like Halo Combat Evolved, Star Wars Battlefront, and Eye of the Dragon. Those are the games that get me nostalgic, that bring back so many happy memories for me when I first started playing video games. The games I am nostalgic with are from a different era than the games that so many other people are nostalgic with. The old NES and Sega Genesis days. That wasn't me. I've always been a PC gamer, and I still have nostalgic memories of my old crappy computer, this big, ugly, yellowish box that could barely run anything unless you gave it a few smacks. Ah, the memories. That's the beauty of nostalgia, and that's why nostalgia, it's something that's never going to go away. It's something we're always going to cherish. And that's what nostalgia should be. It should be cherished. It's a memory, and something you can go back to. You can play those old games. Perhaps if you still have those old consoles lying around, you can plug them back in and play the games that you played as a kid in this very same fashion on the same console with the same controller. Just a nostalgia overflow. Nostalgia is personal. However, it should stay personal. While we must keep and even replay our childhood video games, the games we cherished at a younger age, we shouldn't let nostalgia blind us. Nostalgia should not completely alter, change, modify your opinion of games that come out today. There's a big split between the gaming community, between people who want innovation, who want to see new products, new ideas, new IPs. And then there's the other half who revel in nostalgia, maybe, in my opinion, a bit too much. I'm talking about the people who say that first-person shooter gaming is dying because we don't have more games like Quake and Unreal Tournament and Doom. I'm talking about the people who buy every single Nintendo game that comes out because they have a soft spot for Nintendo and childhood memories. If they want to buy nothing but Nintendo games, that's their business, and I'm not going to stop them. I'm not going to complain. But the fact that you will only buy video games from the same developer who made your childhood games, and you won't try anything else, maybe, just maybe, you're living on nostalgia a bit too much. Like I've said before, I'm a guy who enjoys the games of today. Games that have top-notch, up-to-date graphics. Games that use the mechanics and different game styles of today. While I will play and enjoy a 2D side-scrolling platformer from time to time, I enjoy first-person and third-person shooters, hack-and-slash games, the occasional RTS. I find that the games of today just have so much more versatility. However, I'm in a small margin of people who think that. There are unfortunately a great many people who are clouded by nostalgia and are so in love with the games of the past, they can't appreciate the games of today or the games of the future. Just because regenerating health is unrealistic doesn't mean it's the worst thing ever. Oh god, there's a difficulty selection in the game and not a standard default difficulty. God forbid for some reason we give players the option to choose their difficulty. Seriously, that's a great thing. So, games are easier than the games of yesteryear. Boo-hoo. Last I checked, difficulty wasn't the major factor that defined an entire video game. Just because newer games that have been coming out recently have different mechanics than the ones you grew up with as a kid, doesn't make them bad games. Not everything has to emulate the games of the past. There's nothing wrong with trying something different or trying something else. Just because games of the past had health kits doesn't mean games of today have to have health kits. If they want to have health kits, good for them. If they want to have regenerating health, good for them. That's the kind of game they're going for. But most importantly, we can't let nostalgia blind us. Say, a game that is a sequel or a remake to an old school game, a game that came out a long time ago. Let me give you a few examples. For instance, Duke Nukem Forever. Now, the game was bad, but it wasn't the worst thing ever conceived by man. It's a bad game, no duh, but I think some people who are very nostalgic to Duke Nukem 3D really took it out on this game because it was different than the original Duke Nukem. So the game has regenerating health. So the game only lets you carry 2 weapons at a time. And the last game didn't do that. That doesn't make it the worst thing ever. Last I checked, there have been quite a few critically acclaimed first-person shooters that had similar mechanics. However, that's not the worst that nostalgia can do. If some of you watched my previous countdown top 10 games I hate but everybody else likes, you would know that Nintendo games and Pokemon games are my number 1. And people will debate me to the moon on this, and I understand why. These games are important to you, they're precious, they're nostalgic. But your nostalgia is blinding you. You're making excuses for the games because of nostalgia, and you're ignoring the very real flaws. Such as how Nintendo continues to make the same games and sequels to the same games over and over again. You get pissed when Activision keeps releasing Call of Duty after Call of Duty. But when Nintendo releases Mario after Mario, it's alright? Just because you don't have nostalgia factor for Call of Duty doesn't mean you should give Mario a pass because you have nostalgia for his games you played as a kid. Same thing with Pokemon. Tell me what Pokemon has done over the past years that is actually innovated besides slightly improved graphics. What have the new Pokemon games that are significantly different from the first one? Constantly buying products from people who use your nostalgia against you. Nintendo knows that they made your childhood. They made the childhood of several of the gamers of today, and they use that against you. They know you'll buy the latest Pokemon and the latest Mario because you played them as a kid and they have nostalgic value. And you're going to enjoy them. You're going to enjoy the games, every second of them, because they play exactly like the first Pokemon games and the first Mario games you played as a kid. And if you keep enjoying just the nostalgia factor of the games, then how is Nintendo and Pokemon ever going to innovate? How are they ever going to get better? How are they ever going to change? How are you ever going to see a different game from these guys? I really love Halo 1, 2, and I'm really pissed that I'm never going to be able to play free, but I'm not going to let my nostalgia to Halo just blind me from the truth that this new trilogy, Halo 4, 5, 6, it's just wrong. Instead of Microsoft innovating, trying to build something new, they're just making more sequels to the same franchise, knowing people who love Halo are going to play them no matter what. Because they love the franchise and the first games are important to them. Say a remake or a sequel to one of my favorite games of all time, Eye of the Dragon, gets made. I'm not only all of a sudden going to bash this new sequel or remake with updated graphics, new mechanics, and maybe completely changes how the game plays or what type of game it is from the first one. I'm not going to be completely biased against it because I love the original. I'm going to look at the game as it is. That's what I'm trying to get at. Please enjoy nostalgia for what it is. Good memories. And looking back and interacting with the past. Don't let nostalgia blind you to the video games of the present and future. Look at video games from a different perspective, and not just the perspective of that wide-eyed, nostalgic kid you were. I hope you guys enjoyed this commentary. Please leave a like if you did, subscribe if you want to support me and see more of my content. And please, always leave a comment in the comment section below of what you guys think of what I just talked about. So, until the next video, later.